I want to talk about something that should make every single Canadian feel uneasy. But before I do, I need to be very clear about something. The individual I'm about to discuss belongs to a particular demographic, and this story is not an indictment of that demographic. It's not a generalization, it's not a smear. What this is about is our judicial system and the very real mental health crisis in this country. The person at the center of this case clearly displays serious mental health instability. That is a fact based on the record. That instability does not define everyone who shares any identity category with them, but it does raise serious questions about how our system handles violent offenders who are visibly unstable. So, with that understood, let's look at what happened. Let's start with the original reporting. February 25th, 2025, Global News. Charges laid after two children were stabbed in Grand Prairie, Alberta. Charges have been laid after two children were injured with a knife in Grand Prairie, Alberta, requiring one to be sent down to the Stroley's Children's Hospital in Edmonton. An 8-year-old child was stabbed and taken to Grand Prairie Regional Hospital in serious but non-life-threatening condition. A second child, age 7, suffered minor wounds from a knife. Police said to protect their identity, the children, who are both in stable condition, will not be named. A 35-year-old person from Grand Prairie was charged with aggravated assault. Global News is no longer naming them due to a publication ban enacted to protect the identity of the victims. Now here's the important part. There is a publication ban in place by the Alberta Court of Justice to protect the identities of the children. That's why major outlets, including Global News, stopped naming the accused. If you look at everything GP, same story, same publication ban. So understand this clearly. The media isn't forgetting the details. They are legally restricted from publishing certain information. So that's the backdrop. That's the case as it's been reported. Now let's talk about how this resurfaced. So I first heard about this story right here by Billboard Chris, who points out that the accused, who identifies as a trans man, allegedly stabbed his 7-year-old son and 8-year-old daughter and is currently out on bail awaiting sentencing. So one child required emergency surgery to repair a severed esophagus, months on a feeding tube, and yet bail. Not remand, not psychiatric confinement, bail. Now, I'm not going to editorialize here too much. I'm going to let this individual speak for themselves. Here, have a listen to this.
Good morning. It's your favorite hobo you love to hate. I just wanted to do a check-in, let people know that I am being safe, I'm being secure. I have taken care of my needs, and I am just chilling until I actually go for my sentencing. And
Just chilling.
yeah, I did
Wow.
kind of realize that we do have a highly unique opportunity here, whereas I'm someone who did something heinous and I'm on social media, whereas pretty much all the other people who do something heinous get locked in a box and blocked out from society, and they don't get to talk to them. So
Weird. Why is that?
Does it put me at risk? I'm already at risk. So whatever, I guess. Yeah, sure it does. But also, I know that I'm going to do everything in my part to not hurt anyone else in society. For sure. Nope, I'm good. That was a horrible, horrible, horrible error and a bad decision that I made, and I shouldn't have ever done it. I never will do it again, and if I could rewrite history and make it so I didn't do it, I would. But that's not going to happen, so I definitely have to answer for it, and we just have to, I guess, deal with it. So what do you think?
Yeah.
What should we do with this opportunity? Because since we're connecting. Anyway, that's it. That's all. Peace, love, and unicorns. Alice Michael out.
So he says something heinous. He acknowledges it was a horrible decision. He says he has to answer for it. Well, we have a system for that, and it's called jail. It's called psychiatric evaluations. It's called not being out on bail and roaming the streets at night while you're a threat to society. That's kind of what we developed the whole judicial system to be around. And we based it around these parameters. Okay, now here's the second clip.
I think it's wild that people are like, we're going to find you and we're going to get you. I'm like, yo, I am a mentally unstable person who lives in a minivan and I need a full psychiatric assessment. Like, I go around people when I have to. If I didn't have to, I wouldn't. I think it's safer for the community the less time people are around me. Why would you come up to someone who did what I did and harass them? People don't actually, but they threaten to, right? And I think that's just wild. Anyway, good morning. It's Alice Michael. Mwah. Peace, love, and unicorn.
He says he's mentally unstable. He says he needs a full psychiatric assessment. He says it would be safer for the community the less time people are around him. Those are his words. So here's the question. If someone admits on camera that they are unstable, if 2 children were stabbed, if one required life-saving surgery, why is this person free and living in a van awaiting sentencing? And this is the van that he's living in. He's traveling in this thing between BC and Alberta. It says every child matters on the side, which is the most ironic thing you could possibly put on there. So keep an eye out for this van. Obviously, if you see this, do not approach them. Do not interact with this person. Do everything you can to avoid them. So again, this is not about identity. This is not about politics. We're targeting the judicial system that seems more concerned with procedure than public safety. This is the outrage here. Why is this person roaming the streets? I'll let you guys do your own thinking on that one. All right, now let's zoom out for a second. Andy Nago covered this story back in February, and in his reporting, he included screenshots of posts from the accused. So here we have a moderately normal-looking version of this person, and hey, not so much there. What's going on? So let's look at actually what's being said here. If people are going to keep assaulting a marginalized group, don't be surprised when they arm themselves. Yo, yikes. Okay. We also have anti-cop rhetoric. So he says nobody needs trash in their lives. It's insidious, like being a cop. It can infect the whole family and even the friend group. That level of fash was only reserved for one group before until Ensel shut up anyways. Well, and cops. And goes off into this other big diatribe here. We've got combative, aggressive language, and then the big one. And this was shared on the Post-Millennial here. He says, and yes, I stabbed my daughter in the shoulder and scraped my son's arm. The cause and the why are the slander I am mentioning here. I definitely had some sort of mental break. That's why I'm in psych. Yeah, and they all call him out here. Why does she need a feeding tube? It's not a rumor if it's true. That's why everything says her esophagus was severed. Yeah, so people close to this person obviously know. They're full of shit. So here's where it gets absolutely wild. We've got somebody who admits to stabbing 2 children, admits to having a mental break, admits to being unstable, says it would be safer for the community if people weren't around them. And the system says, all right, cool. Have a good time. We'll see you at sentencing. What? We just watched a country get shaken by a tragedy a few days ago. Canadians are on edge. People are asking whether warning signs are taken seriously. And here we have warning signs flashing like a Vegas billboard. See, again, this is not about identity. This isn't about some culture war angle here. This is about behavior. This is about violent actions against children. This is about bail being granted in a case that, to most Canadians, screams, why is this person not in custody? You don't have to hate anyone to ask that question. You don't have to generalize a community. You just have to look at the facts and say, how is this the standard? Because if stabbing your own children doesn't trigger automatic remand pending sentencing, what does? This is not extremism. This is just common sense. And until we start having a serious conversation about judicial philosophy in this country, about risk versus compassion, we're going to keep seeing decisions that make normal Canadians feel uneasy. That's the issue, not identity, the system. Have a great night. See you guys later.